Hello there, welcome to the E3 wrap up for this year. I've basically spent the last week glued to my phone, watching all of the E3 announcements, and overall, it's been breathtaking. Don't get me wrong, there were some incredibly underwhelming presentations as well, but I think this time the good has outweighed the bad substantially. I'm just gonna hit you with the big stuff. I covered Stadia in last week's video game news. Basically, if you live in one of the selected 14 countries and have brilliant internet, you can stream your games. It brings great versatility with the ability to play on selected phones, tablets, TVs, and your PC. But unless you're living inside the server room, I can't see this working well. The input lag will be crippling. I'm not going to cover this again. I'll link last week's news in the description. The Stadia piece is first up in that. Cracking on with the ever disappointing EA. They were up next with their EA Play event, and they didn't fail to disappoint. That's right, they don't pay me, so you get an honest response on the hot trash that they throw out. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. We got a first look at the gameplay, or as the fans call it, alpha gameplay. A lot of emphasis on the alpha to cover for how awful it actually looked. With a release date of November 15, it must already be crunch time for these devs if they want to polish this turd in time. Now, it may only have been a trial mission that we saw, which might explain why it appeared so linear, so basic. I mean, it looked like a really dumbed down Uncharted, crossed with The Force Unleashed, with basic puzzles and lightsabers instead of quality. It is certainly nothing like Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, like people keep suggesting. Graphically, it was underwhelming as well. Really, all it had going for it was the fact that it is Star Wars, and it has a Sith antagonist. Apex Legends, trying to stop that backward slide now that all the streamers have finished their contracted playtime. They basically just announced the new season, starting July 2nd, named Battle Charge. It comes with what you expect, basically, a new legend named Watson, a child electrical engineer and scientific genius. Her old man actually built the Apex arena. Interesting move throwing a child into a shooter, something most devs avoid. Alright, next, Battlefield 5. They basically showed what will be the drip feed of the new stuff into Battlefield 5. New multiplayer maps incoming. The most exciting part is probably the inclusion of the Pacific Theater of World War II, a return to Battlefield's roots. 3 new maps including Iwo Jima. EA Sports. It's in the game. FIFA 20, the gift that keeps on giving. Keeps on giving the same recycled crap every year. Not this year. This time it comes with a new FIFA Street style mode called Volta. 3 vs 3, 4 vs 4, 5 vs 5, and futsal, or rush modes, without a keeper if that's what you prefer. None of this is available on the Switch version though, so rest in peace if you're a Switch gamer. Other than the new game mode, it's just the same old. Some tweaks to the gameplay. By the sounds of it, they've changed the off-ball mechanic quite substantially to allow the dribbler more space and to create more one-on-one situations. Speaking of the same old song and dance, Madden 20. Just like FIFA, it's basically the same thing as it is every other year, with some made-up, game-changing differences to how the game plays, despite it playing almost the same. They have actually added something called superstar abilities that can be activated on both offense and defense that allow certain players to make spectacular plays. I mean, this is something that happens in real life, and no doubt there are superstars who are more likely to pull things like this off, but to have something like this available on command sounds lame to me, man. Now, back to their great games. Anthem! Okay, I'm just kidding. There was nothing. They mentioned it briefly, but basically they just said it needs work. The Sims 4 is getting a new expansion. Island Life. As the name suggests, it's a bunch of island and water themed features. Mermaids, boats, fishing, volcanoes, the ability to move seamlessly in and out of water, jet skis, boats, and Hawaiian shirts. They also mentioned 3 EA Indie Originals post-conference. Lost in Random, Rust Heart, and an unannounced title for now, but more on these as it's known. And that's EA done. Probably the worst conference of E3. On to Bethesda. BE3. Elder Scrolls 6. Nope. Starfield. Nope. Fallout. Yeah, I guess. After all this time, Fallout 76 is getting NPCs. That's right. One of the key things that just about all games should release with, they're getting them. And they're calling it an expansion. I mean, is there any saving Fallout 76 at this point? Bethesda seems to think so. Adding NPCs with real dialogue influenced by your stats and perks, and choices you make will have lasting consequences for the story. Standard RPG stuff, really. In addition to these changes, designed to make the game feel less empty and more like the MMORPG it is trying to be, they've jumped on board the Battle Royale hype train with Nuclear Winter. A 52-player fight to the death, with the winner becoming the overseer of Vault 51. Obviously, this mode is separate to the main game. I hope that doesn't need to be said at this point, and includes all the weapons and other mechanics like camps, perks, and nuclear weapons available in Fallout 76. This will also be free to all players when it launches. I believe it already has? Ghostwire Tokyo, from the devs behind The Evil Within. I hadn't even heard of this prior to E3, an action-adventure game in which you fight paranormal enemies and rid Tokyo of supernatural evil.
It's spooky.
People have gone missing, and it's your task to figure out why. This trailer looked really good, without actually showing you anything. Knockoff Japanese Hawkeye says, "Don't fear the unknown, attack it." And that was the only real line in the trailer, advising you to go out and commit a war crime. The real showstopper for this game, though, was Tango Gameworks' creative director, Akumi Nakamura. She took the stage and animatedly introduced the game. She was nervous and awkward, and it was perfect. And now the internet loves her. The conference really fell off in the middle here. Get Uranus to Mars! Commander Keen, one of my favourite platformers as a kid, is back as a mobile free-to-play game, a 2D drag-and-drop tactics game. The Elder Scrolls Online Elsewhere will have dragons! The cinematics look fantastic. I'm not sure really why this was even here. The expansion's already out, updates on the regular, just go get it. The awful pay-to-win game The Elder Scrolls Blades is coming to Switch with cross-save support. Wolfenstein Youngblood, killing Nazis with a friend. Or without it, if you want. Co-op is co-optional? Alright, back on track now. Another complete unknown game prior to this announcement, Deathloop. Deathloop is a first-person shooter set on a futuristic island named Black Reef. Two competing assassins are stuck in some kind of endless time loop, battling to take out targets while attempting to end the cycle of death. Touting the combination of mind-bending story, meticulous levels that you can approach in any way you want, and an interesting endless Majora's Mask, Edge of Tomorrow, Groundhog Day loop, it shows real promise. Alright, and Doom Eternal, easily the best looking and most anticipated game at the BE3 conference. Earth is on the brink of annihilation and demons have overrun the world. You are the Doomslayer, the strongest, fastest demon killer in existence, and nothing can stand in your way. You must defeat them all. It's the ultimate power fantasy. New demons and environmental traps, powerful weaponry, heavy music, gore, fast-paced action, bloody executions, acrobatic movement. Doom has it all. And the collector's edition comes with a life-sized helmet. The new multiplayer battle mode sees the Doomslayer face off against two player-controlled demons who are able to summon additional allies to try to overwhelm the Doomslayer, who is heavily outnumbered but also has superior firepower. It's strategy versus skill. November 22nd. And that is BE3 wrapped. Sweet Mary, this is going to be a massive video. Cracking on with Ubisoft! The Zelda Breath of the Wild looking open world action RPG, Gods and Monsters. It looks like Assassin's Creed meets Breath of the Wild meets mythology. Players take on the role of Phoenix, a fully customizable character summoned by the gods to help them defeat Typhon. It plays like Assassin's Creed, but with more freedom, as it isn't tied to the constraints of reality. You can double jump, you have a magic glider, you can uppercut into the air to attack flying creatures, all the fun stuff. This game has me written all over it and was my favourite announcement from Ubisoft. The art style alone has got me. Roller Champions, a team-based sports game based on roller derby, but different. For one, it has a ball. Overwatch meets Rocket League meets roller derby. Ghost Recon Breakpoint, featuring John Bernthal, aka The Punisher, as the main antagonist, no less. Also featuring John Bernthal on stage, talking about it with a canine companion. The easiest way to win over a crowd, bring a dog. Breakpoint is the direct sequel to Wildlands, seeing one of the Ghost's greatest allies go rogue and establish his own military unit called the Wolves. The Wolves take over an island installation that specializes in drone manufacturing, giving them the resources and firepower to wage war as they see fit. You are a member of a squad of ghosts dropped onto the island to take him down. If you don't have mates to play with, your teammates are going to be AI controlled. I pray missions do not rely on their survival. There is nothing worse than looking after some annoying, stupid AI when you're playing a game. Ashley, I'm looking at you. Rainbow Six Quarantine, coming 2020. Similar to the limited time event in Rainbow Six Siege called Outbreak, it is a 3-player co-op PvE experience. It's not the end of Siege, don't worry, this is a game designed to complement Siege. Siege is PvP, this is PvE. We didn't get much more than that, but Siege is a fantastic shooter, so a PvE experience built off this has real potential. The Division 2 showed off its Year 1 roadmap with DC Outskirts Expeditions dropping first, letting you explore the woodlands surrounding DC and the Washington National Zoo. The second episode, Pentagon, The Last Castle, you'll have to defend the Pentagon from Black Tusk. This will have the Division's second 8-player raid in the middle of an active foundry. The third episode, Coney Island Homecoming, promises a familiar nemesis and a new threat as the agents head back to the source of the outbreak in New York. Looks good. Watch Dogs Legion. Set in post-Brexit London, extremists have taken over and technology companies run rife. Their power is out of control. Permadeath. It's not really permadeath. You don't have to start again or anything, you just move on to another citizen and carry on. You can recruit any citizen in the game to join your cause. In their video, they showcase this hardy as fuck grandma grabbing a taser and tasing the shit out of people, stumbling over walls. It was really amazing. She really ran away with this show. All characters are voiced and animated, and all cinematics will change based on who you're playing. This is a massive undertaking. I'm really not sure if they can pull it off. My thing is, if all the characters are persistent and truly exist in the world, can I just kill them all and live in London alone? I mean, if I can, I want to play it. I want to give that a jam. This game has massive potential and is ambitious, to say the least. Easily one of the biggest announcements from E3 as a whole, if they can pull it off. Remember, the first Watch Dogs also looked amazing at E3 as well. So we'll see. March 6th, 2020. Alright, Square Enix time with a huge conference. Final Fantasy VII Remake. 2 Blu-ray discs worth of game content for Episode 1 alone. From what we've seen, a reasonable guess would be that Episode 1 will end either when leaving Midgar and reaching the world map, or at Calm. They stated at the start of their presser that remaking Final Fantasy VII has allowed them to dive much deeper into the world and its characters than ever before, which of course means when the plate falls, you're going to feel it worse than ever before. Everyone is looking fantastic. Jesse, Wedge, Cloud, Barrett, Eris, the Tifa reveal was perfect, as was the Sephiroth one. The game is looking beautiful. It has fully changed. It is totally different, but it is still iconic and it is true to memory. The only place I see it falling over is the combat. But I will admit, it's looking better than I initially anticipated. Not like 15 at all, which is what I first thought they were going with. It is a PS4 exclusive though, so sad life for me, I won't be playing it. From remake to remaster, Crystal Chronicles is getting a remaster. The spin-off multiplayer companion game from GameCube is coming back for Switch and PS4. Players work together, battling enemies and solving puzzles to gather Myrrh, an energy source that sustains the crystals needed to protect the world from miasma, now with internet connectivity. Circuit Superstars, the Forza of Micro Machines, is a top-down arcade racer / racing sim. It looks like Micro Machines taking itself way too seriously. As long as they have casual arcade modes as well that aren't serious, this could really be something. It looks fun. Dragon Quest meets Minecraft again, and Dragon Quest Builders 2. Create your custom character, join your homie Melroth, and get the skills required to become a master builder to combat the children of Hagen. Then take your builder online and collaborate and play with your friends. The Last Remnant, the cult classic RPG from 2008, is getting a remaster for Nintendo Switch. If you didn't play the original, you can expect an enthralling story and an intricate battle system. Final Fantasy XIV Shadowbringers got a bit more trailer time and has forever changed the game. Confirmed. Hydaelyn and Zodiac, the crystal entities we've been warring for and against, are primals. We're going to have to put Hydaelyn down. After all of this, we're going to have to put it down. Job changes, 2 new races, new areas, beast tribes, monsters, the overall aesthetic, the black and white, the dark and light effect looks incredible. The Warrior of Light is no more. Time to embrace the Dark Knight. The expansion is changing a lot. Not only the story, but TP's being removed. MP is being capped at 10,000. No more main stat materia. Role actions are changing significantly, and side quests in all the new areas will scale with you and give you appropriate XP. So save them up for those grindy levels towards the end. Dying Light 2. Parkour Zombies 2. Dying Light 2 is set in a decaying city that is struggling to keep itself together amid competing factions. Decisions you make and the groups you team up with will shape the world around you, reap the rewards, and live with the consequences. There are a lot more people uninfected this time around, so you'll have more to deal with than just zombies this time. Dying Light 2's map is also 4 times larger than all of the first game's maps combined. That's huge, man. Co-op is a little bit different this time due to decisions changing the game. One person needs to be the host and make those calls. There are now twice as many parkour moves as there were in the first one. All the better to run away with. This is looking as ambitious as Watch Dogs Legion. The only difference? These guys nailed it the first time around. So I have a lot of faith that this game is going to deliver. Outriders, from the team behind Bulletstorm. It's a dark modern shooter with traditional values. An experience with a strong story that you can enjoy with your friends or on your own. A 1 to 3 player drop-in, drop-out shooter. You will create your own Outrider and journey across the planet of Enoch in search of a mysterious signal. The planet is dark, dangerous, and unforgiving, and you'll have to murder your way across it. They showed off some of the weaponry and creatures you can expect to see, as well as teasing a bit more depth to the game, but they remain tight-lipped as to what that depth is. It does show promise though. Marvel's Avengers, the game that for some reason the devs can't put a label on. It's an action RPG. sorted. The story is single player and the fights are scripted, with you switching between Avengers at key story moments. Side missions can be done as whichever Avenger you want. If you want to focus one and level them up or play as your favourite one, that's where you can do that. That's also where you can join your friends and play alongside them. Character customization comes in 3 parts. Skills. This is the in-depth skill tree you can add to as you level up. Customize and upgrade abilities and learn new moves. The characters are all obviously different, so too are their skill trees. Gear. Gear provides active and passive abilities and attributes, but does not change appearance in any way. And cosmetics. Skins, essentially. Some skins will be somewhat customizable, and anyone who's seen a comic book or even the movies knows how much the characters change in appearance, having different Iron Man suits, for example. Cosmetics are always purely aesthetic. This game will have microtransactions. Again, cosmetic only. Think voices, emotes, and probably the skins. All of this, bar the microtransactions, sounds pretty promising, right? Unfortunately, reviews from the floor say otherwise. Most people can't get over the different faces and the voices of their beloved characters. To them, I say get over it. Comics don't have voices. This is based on the comics. Others are saying the gameplay goes from action brawler to on-the-rail shooter to platformer to quick-time half-cinematic events and is too varied and different that it makes it all feel hollow. I mean, I'll take varied and different any day, but I'm still not holding my breath. I think the last good Marvel game I played was X-Men Legends. Final Fantasy VIII Remastered! The game had been thought lost with rumours that the original source code had been deleted and that only the PC version remained. I don't know how, but someone out there has worked their magic and we're getting it. This year even. A really strong showing from Square. The Avengers game probably looked the weakest of all of their announcements. Alright, I've saved the biggest 2 for last. Microsoft. Microsoft had the largest and longest showing at E3. They opened with The Outer Worlds. The game advertised all over the front page of Steam for like a year now, exclusive to the Epic Store for a year. It's a player-driven story RPG. How you approach it's up to you. Your choices affect how the story develops, your character build, companion stories, and in-game scenarios. Ninja Theory showed off their new game, Bleeding Edge, a new 4 vs 4 multiplayer melee combat game that feels like Overwatch meets Devil May Cry. It boasts a bright palette, bone-crushing violence, and over-the-top eccentric characters. And that's about it. A Blair Witch game reveal trailer set in 1996 and developed by Bloober Team. This is a misty, shaky, grainy first-person game. It's graphically impressive and looks scary as hell. And that's really all we got for that. Cyberpunk 2077 from CD Projekt Red. The biggest game going into E3 and the biggest game coming out of it. Grimy neon, shady deals, drugs, and extreme violence. It has everything. You know what it's missing? Keanu Reeves. No, it's not! At the end of the trailer, a mysterious character named Johnny Silverhand appears to wake up the samurai. Johnny Silverhand is Keanu Reeves. The crowd went nuts. Then the wall opens up and out of the smoke comes none other than the man himself, and he's emphatic and genuinely excited about the game and about being there. It has since been revealed that his character has the second most speaking lines in the game and is prominent throughout. He's a digital ghost that the player sees and others do not. As is the theme with these games, what you do affects the game. Whether you kill everything that moves or literally pass through the game without killing anybody is totally up to you, and will impact how it all pans out. This game is visually stunning and it looks enormous. Combat is incredibly varied, from gunplay to hacking a bench press to add weight on and crush a bloke's neck. How you play, whether it be stealth or guns blazing or mix and match how you see fit, it's totally your call. What do you guys think? Is the hype for this game too big, or is it going to live up to the expectations people have following The Witcher 3? We'll see. Damn, I hope this thing works. A new Microsoft flight simulator game, and it looks incredible. If you like flying, or you just want to see the world from the view of a plane, this looks like the game for you. It looks impossibly vast and real. It took 2 petabytes of geographical data to stitch together the Earth. That is huge. I just want to get in a plane and fly it straight into my house. Dragon Ball Z Kakarot is coming. It's not a fighter, but an action RPG following the early stages of the TV series, from the Saiyan saga right through the Frieza saga. Hopefully it doesn't end there and they're planning on releasing expansions with the rest of the story. That would be amazing. Gears of War 5, the big announcement really for these guys. It features a female protagonist, Kate. Don't worry, Marcus Phoenix fans, he's still around. Just Kate's taking the starring role in this one, as she leads her team on a personal mission following the emotional end to Gears of War 4. It features a new co-op mode called Escape, we don't know much more about that, and it will have some sick Terminator skins as a wee crossover to the upcoming Terminator Dark Fate movie. Another exciting addition for the first time in this franchise, it will have a map editor. Out September 10th, or 4 days earlier if you're an Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscriber. The best driving game ever, except maybe Gran Turismo 2, Forza 4 is getting a massive new LEGO update. Yep, yeah. I'm as confused as you are about this. The LEGO Speed Champions expansion featuring fully LEGO cars and tracks, and it looks awful. But it also looks amazing at the same time. It probably will be amazing. It's confusing me. My brain doesn't know what's going on. My favourite announcement, other than the Cyberpunk one, Sega is bringing Phantasy Star Online 2 to the West next year. Finally! It's only about 8 years late. I played and loved the first one and was gutted when the second didn't end up reaching our shores. The Elden Rings from George R.R. Martin and From Software, it looks like a more colourful Western fantasy version of Dark Souls. We got nothing more than a short trailer, sadly. And finally, Project Scarlet, the new Xbox console, will be out holiday of 2020. It boasts 4 times the processing power of the Xbox One X, promising resolution and frame rates that we've never seen before on a console. 8K capability and 120 frames per second. Important note here, that's 8K and 120 frames per second. Not 120 frames per second at 8K, don't expect that. It'll have a bespoke solid state drive that delivers a 40 times performance increase. No more loading times and extremely high-end graphics. Seamless. It's seamless. Seamlessly seamless. Project Seamless. You probably had to be there to get that. Halo Infinite will be a Project Scarlet launch game. Seamless. And that is Xbox's Seamless E3 piece. It was longer and had a few minor announcements too, like Battletoads and a cloud streaming service. But they'll come again. I'll talk about them another time. Last, but certainly not least, Nintendo! Couple of new heroes for Smash. Dragon Quest's main hero, and Banjo-Kazooie. Luigi's Mansion 3. Get that poltergeist vacuum out.
It's spooky.
It plays like the previous games and has some sweet new moves like an AoE damage slam, a suction shot that allows you to destroy environmental objects, and a burst shot that pushes ghosts away. Professor Egad is back, and so is Gooigi. Gooigi can be summoned either in single or co-op mode to help solve puzzles. He's goo, so he can slide through bars and walk on spikes, and dissolves in water. Solid family fun, as expected really. The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening got another trailer. This game looks incredible. It also includes a dungeon building feature. Players can earn chambers as they play and arrange them on a map to create a dungeon, which they can then explore. Cool little addition. The game walks a fine line between remake and remaster. It is a remake in that the game has been built entirely from the ground up, but it plays the same. It is the same perfect Zelda game it once was. It just looks different. The Witcher 3 is coming to Switch. Before everyone gets too excited about this, it's obviously a toned down version of the game, playing in 720p when docked and 540p on the move. But still, it's incredible that they've not only managed to do this, but that they actually went and did it. Contra Rogue Cause. Not a 2D side-scroller anymore. Instead, it's a 3D twin-stick run-and-gun shooter. There was a lot of whiplash for this trailer, and a lot of people aren't happy with the direction Contra has gone. I am. It reminds me of Loaded, an action-packed game that doesn't take itself too seriously. It looks good, man. It looks good fun to me. Daemon X Machina. Announced last E3, now has a release date, and another full-on trailer. Nothing like a little hyper-colourful mech combat to get you going, coming September 13th. Pokemon Sword and Shield. Nothing new here, they introduced the gym leader Nessa, but otherwise as per last week's gaming news. The game looks amazing and the hype is real. November. Astral Chain from Platinum Game. Yep, the guys that brought you Nier Automata. Better have a look then, eh? Humanity is struggling from an extra-dimensional attack from beings called chimeras. A police task force called Neuron is tasked with repelling the threat. You are a rookie on that task force, fighting alongside your living weapon called Legion. Think Xenoblade Chronicles. Coming August 30th, this game looks great. Hectic action, a deep sci-fi story with massive boss fights, and a nice anime art style. I'm all in. Mario and Sonic at the the Olympic Games! Tokyo 2020 is the 6th installment in the Mario and Sonic series and is based on the real-world 2020 Summer Olympics in Tokyo. This is the first installment to skip an Olympic Games. Ubisoft bought the rights to make 2018 Winter Olympics video games, so RIP Sonic and Mario fans. Big move. So yeah, play all your favourite events as your favourite characters. You know what was a good game? Athens 2004. Bring that back. I haven't had a good thumb/finger blister in years. Animal Crossing New Horizons coming March 2020. Who pays to go to a deserted island to work to survive? Absurd. The game looks cute though. Alright, then a reel of games that are incoming. Spyro Trilogy, Hollow Knight, Silksong, Ni no Kuni, Minecraft Dungeons, Elder Scrolls Blades, My Friend Pedro, Doom Eternal, The Sinking City, Wolfenstein Youngblood, Dead by Daylight, Alien Isolation, Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles, Dragon Quest Builders 2, Stranger Things 3 The Game, Just Dance 2020, Catan, New Super Lucky's Tale, Dauntless, Super Mario Maker 2. And to close, the highlight of the whole damn thing. A sequel to The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, now in development. The trailer is really good. That same art style, some dead returning to life, and Zelda. Potentially a playable Zelda, as in the princess, not Link. If you think, oh, don't do me like that. And that is a wrap for Nintendo. And also, a wrap for my E3 wrap-up. I planned on making this thing short, but man, there was so much information. I ended up going back and cutting out a lot of stuff. All the smaller announcements. It's been a huge week. The future looks bright for video games.